Welcome to an edition of Recruit Nation Sports with Coach Ann and Coach Creek. Coach Creek is out right now. He may join us later. Today, we are on the horn with Coach Shaune Holiday of the TCPS Eagles and out of Mississippi. Am I right, Coach?
Yes, sir. Tupelo, Mississippi.
Tupelo Christian Prep. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, Tupelo Christian Prep.
Tupelo, Mississippi. Tupelo, Mississippi. So let's just get into it, Coach. You know, for the beginning, for those of you that don't know who you are, can you give us a little background on your playing career, coaching career, and how long you've been, in the coaching process, in the coaching profession, and playing?
Okay, well, like I said, my name is Shaune Holiday. I'm the head coach here at Tupelo Christian Prep. Been here now for 11 years. Was fortunate enough to play baseball at the University of Mississippi back in the day. If I'm correct, I was the third or fourth African American to do that at that time, early 90s. Yeah, so God is good.
Yeah.
Since I've been here at Tupelo Christian Prep, I believe I'm the only African American head football coach in the state of Mississippi at a private school. So God is truly doing wonderful things in my life. I can't complain, man. When I first got here for this job, check this out, Coach. I had 9 players. I'm gonna let that sit in for a minute.
Yeah, it's sinking.
we had 9 players, but those were 9 soldiers. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
We wound up with 15 players that year, and we didn't win a game. We did not win a game at all. And then we went on the next year, and we had to cancel the whole season. And because we didn't have enough players to play and we weren't big enough. So what we did that year, I'm a firm believer in you got to speak life into existence. And you have to start preparing for success. So that year that we did not play, we practiced every day. And we went out, we practiced. Then on Friday, I tell them, go watch football. So they would go watch football games and different stuff like that. My third year here, we finally had enough kids to have a team. I was blessed to have a great coaching staff. Coach Aubrey Bourne was my defensive coordinator. Coach Wilkerson was my offensive coordinator. Coach Wilkerson had written books on the spread offense, so we bought in the spread. Yeah, he's been on the speaking tour with Nick Saban and Urban Meyer and all those guys. So he comes in with that spread offense, and the kids love the spread. So they love to throw the ball around, So
that.
We go out the first 3 games and we don't win a game. And I'm sitting there going, Lord, what are you teaching me? So finally we win. And mind you now, and I'm just straightforward. At that time, I didn't have any black kids on my team.
Okay.
And so I looked at we were playing an all-black team. I looked at my guys and I said, all right, guys, tonight I need y'all to play like me. They said, what do you mean, Coach? I said, play like light-skinned brothers. So, we went out that night and we beat that team by 28 points.
Oh, my God.
That was my first win as a high school coach. That year we won 3 games. And the year after that, we improved a little bit more. We went 8-1.
Okay.
The year after that, we went 7-2. Then we had to go back in division play 4 years ago. Mm-hmm. Nobody expected us to do anything once we went back in division play. All these kids have done the last 4 years is made the playoffs.
See, that's a testament to just building.
That's it.
Like, as coaches, we even in our mantra is, and dream is trust the process.
That's it.
And it's the same way. Like, sometimes you got to crawl before you walk. And you got to learn to fly before you start flying,
And during that time, we've had kids to make all state. We've had kids to make all area. We've had kids to go on to get college scholarships. We're blessed to have, Coach Wilkerson. He went on to another job, but then I had Coach Dennis Robbins come in and he continued to run the spread offense, as well as I have a Coach Marcus Den on my staff who runs the Mississippi Heat 7-on-7 football team. So he comes in and works with the receivers. Man, I have a great staff here. And I tell people all the time, look, what I do as a coach, I manage. I let my guys coach, and I manage everything for them so they don't have to worry about that. But the biggest part of that is, Coach Anthony, is the kids believe in the hard work. The kids, we were talking earlier, and you said you see all these workout videos and all of that different stuff. That's what we do here at TCPS football. Is we work. I tell my kids all the time, you can't be great living an average life.
Yeah,
So
that's the truest words you're gonna hear. You
yep.
know, and like I gotta get into it. I'm saying like, when I see the workouts, when I see the training and stuff like that, I see some of that translate into the field. We'll get to that later. But like I'm saying is like, we know the process. I see you right now, like, the things you've done already. You've broken barriers on all different levels. Like, like you said before, being the first African American to play, baseball at that school, to be one of the only African American coaches at a private high school. Those are big things. So basically, you've opened doors for other people, saying, like us, to have those opportunities, which I
Well,
think is fantastic.
God prepares us for everything we do in our life. You know,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes the lessons are tough, sometimes they're smooth, but
Mm-hmm.
they're lessons that are helping you get to somewhere else. And what I like to do is I like to give back.
Yeah.
So and that's a part of, to me. There's a lot more to coaching than just winning ball games. The X's and O's are great, but when
Mm-hmm.
we know we're truly successful coaches, is when our kids come back and tell us, Coach, I want you to meet my son, and his son is successful, and his
Yes.
kid is successful,
Yes.
and,
That is
and we're
my.
like, we do during the summer. We do community service during the whole month of June. We take every Wednesday and we go out in the community and do community service. Last year, we were even though it was COVID, we gave away 14,000 pounds of food.
Wow.
Team, yeah.
Wow. See, that extends, that makes them better men, and I agree with you. Someone like, everybody asks me sometimes, or they ask me what my greatest accomplishment is, and it's like, some of my players who didn't go on to play at the next level, but they have productive lives.
Right.
They have productive lives. They come back. They have, one of my players that played for me. He went to college and stuff like that. He didn't, he went to junior college. He didn't make it all the way, but he has a great job now, and he just had a baby. And he's taking care of his kid, and I see him at work, going to work every day and doing his job, and like, that's just one of my, I feel that's one of my best accomplishments, man, to see where he came from and to see where he's at right now. So, I'm really proud of that.
No,
You know,
that's what it's all about.
yeah, pretty much, man. But with all that, let's get into some football. And
Yes, sir.
let's talk about what you've done at TPCS, and like, what you plan on doing, goals, aspirations, and just what you've done the last couple of years, in terms of what you've done in the games and playing and stuff like that.
Well, like I said, man, we went back in division 4 years ago, and we've made the playoffs 4 years in a row. The school had never made the playoffs in football until 4 years ago. This
Okay.
past season, not only did we make the playoffs, we were able to host our first home playoff game.
Okay.
So that's a blessing. Some things that we've got going here at TCPS football is we're about to add new bleachers to our stadium.
Oh, nice.
Our visitor side didn't have bleachers, and our home side, the bleachers were kind of old. So the school sees the need for it. So now they're about to bless us with a whole new stadium around it.
Hey, so they see what's coming next. They see, that's so cool when you know what I'm saying, when you're doing well, and then like, you're the community and and I guess the alumni and everybody like that, they start to take notice and they say, hey, we got a good thing going. So let's put some money into it to making things better, to help us be more successful,
And I'll
which I
tell you,
think is
the
great.
thing that really helps us here and has helped me, and I think it'll help any coaches, when you have parental support.
Yes.
I'm blessed to have great parental support. And when I say that is, like, I have a text message with my team and coaches, and then I
Mhm.
have a text message with my team. I mean, with me and my parents. And what I
Mhm.
do with that one, I have a team mom. So I've come up with a saying: she mommifies my texts for me, so that when the moms get them, they know everything that we're doing. They know how the week is going to be, so that
Yeah.
they know where little Johnny is. They know what time he's leaving for the game. They
Yeah.
know what he's doing. They know when he's getting back. And I'm big on eating. Now, as you can tell, I like to eat. So,
Me too.
I give my kids, little things during the season where if we score 50 points, we're gonna eat steak dinner.
Oh
If
shoot!
if, if we shut somebody up, we're gonna eat steak. Those are just little things that I like to do, to give them incentives to want to go out and play hard.
I'll be trying to break them pockets.
Not that we're trying to do anything to disrespect or, dissuade the other team, because we would never do that.
Nah.
But it gives my kids another reason to go out and play a little bit harder.
I tell them we got to put up a 50 banger to give them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And we don't just eat normal. Just eat like that now, Coach. I make sure I get them thick,
Yeah, like come on, man.
And I'm a big social media guy,
Mm-hmm.
and I like to take my kids and promote them on social media so college coaches can see them. And look, kids are all about social media, Snapchat. I don't do all of that, but I do Twitter to where I can help promote my kids, because some of these guys want that opportunity to go on and play college football. And one way to do that is by showing coaches how hard they're working in the weight room and putting their game film on Twitter and letting people see, you know what? Wow, that little school on side of the road in Tupelo, they are doing things the right way. They are working hard.
Yeah, see, you know what? Like I said, that's the reason why we're here, with Dream, because like we're basically trying to give promotion to the promotion and exposure to the kids that normally won't have it. Because you have the bigger cities in your area. I guess I really don't know Mississippi that well, but you have Oxford and Biloxi and
Tupelo. I mean, Tupelo is one of the bigger cities in Mississippi.
Yeah, in Tupelo. So, but there's other places that don't have that type of exposure, and the kids need that.
Yeah.
So, I can see that, because if I turn on Twitter and I go to your page, I always see kids doing something. They either lifting or they doing some type of exercises or they doing something. I see something. So if I'm a coach.
We had an Easter egg hunt during Easter.
And hey, you gotta have something. You gotta keep them busy, man. You gotta keep them busy.
It's more than just a game here, baby.
Yeah. So getting into coaching and stuff like that. Like, are you an aggressive? What kind of coach are you? Just basically, are you an aggressive coach, or do you like to take what they give you, or do you not want to let it on?
I'm aggressive. I'm aggressive. I like to go for it. Let's go. Ain't no time to sit back. Closed mouth don't get fed, bro.
So you like the attack then?
I bet you last year we might have punted 7 times all year.
Woo!
We're going for it,
I always say that's the CFO way of playing football. You throw the third and fourth down play on first down.
That's right.
Try to get.
Sometimes you have to.
If you get 20 on first down, you don't got to worry about it.
You got to worry about it. Then I tell my defensive coordinator the same way. It gets me in trouble sometimes. He'll look at me like, "Man, be quiet right now." But look, I like the blitz. Let's go. Bring pressure. I'm big on defense. If we can play man to man, and I can take you out of your route, then in high school football that throws that whole play off.
Yeah, it's like throw that cheese.
Yeah.
Throw that.
But yeah, we try to be very aggressive, and we try to be, we want to be in your face on defense, and on offense, we just throwing our ears back, coming at it.
The wolves, right? Let's go hunting, right?
That's what's fun,
Hey, that's good.
The ground and pound. That's that old school football. It still works. Don't get me wrong. Look at Alabama.
Yeah.
Win a lot of times. They do the ground and pound, and it works. But unfortunately, I hadn't had anybody that could ground and pound. So
you got it.
Might do that.
So talk to me about Mississippi football in general, because me being a northerner, I'm doing a lot of shows with a lot of coaches from the South. And I'm actually learning a lot about Southern football. Like, in case, like I was talking to a coach from Florida, and they told me that they have a full spring football season with pads, which I had no clue that like areas do that, like because up north we start like you don't start doing that stuff till like the summer,
Yeah.
and they was like yeah, we have games and everything. So I'm like, hold on, I've never heard of that. So
I mean, we have spring practice and spring games here in Mississippi.
wow.
I don't do it a lot here at my school because a lot of my guys, they play multiple sports. So I've got a lot of guys that be playing baseball, running track, powerlifting, and all that. So we don't do the spring game a lot. But 90% of the schools here in Mississippi, when they start their spring practice, they're going to play a spring game.
Wow.
And there's nothing like football in Mississippi. I'm just telling you, I'll put it up against anybody in the country per capita. I want you to listen to this. You have great high school football. Then you have 9 junior colleges here in Mississippi that normally compete for the national championship.
Okay.
Then you have Mississippi State, Ole Miss, and Southern Miss.
Yes.
Then you have about 4 or 5 HBCUs in Mississippi.
That's right. Was that Jackson State and all that? Yeah. And it's crazy because like I when I was in the Air Force, I was at Keesler Air Force Base. And I never knew, as much as a football head as I am, I never knew how much great football was in the area until I got older. Because now I'm looking at it, like you said, all the junior colleges. A couple of people I know played for Mississippi State. Shout out to Coach Barris Grant, if you can hear me, and shout out to Lanny Jones, who played there too. I know 2 guys. And then, like I said, I used to know about I knew from just being a fan of football. I knew about Kevin Prentice, and I knew about Rufus French and
Rufus and I go to church together.
Yeah, Rufus French and some other guys, and Deuce and all them other guys. So that's how I knew. When I think of Mississippi, I thought about them and John Avery and those guys.
I'm gonna ask you a quick question. I'm gonna give you 3 athletes.
Okay.
4.
Okay.
I want the best receiver to ever play the game of football.
Oh, that's Jerry Rice, Mississippi.
Where's it from?
Mississippi Valley State and Mississippi.
Best running back to ever play football.
Best running back?
Yeah.
It depends on how you feel. What?
Walter Payton.
Okay. All right. Jackson State.
All right, Mississippi.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you 2 quarterbacks' names: Brett Favre and Steve McNair. Where they from?
Okay.
My point. Did I prove my point?
Yeah. Hey. I'm not disagreeing with you.
Mississippi football, baby.
I won't disagree with you, man. And
per capita, it's got to be the best football around. I'm just saying.
Hey, I'm not gonna argue. I'm not gonna argue with you because, like I'm a 49ers fan, and I might get bashed for it on here, but hey, like the goat is from Mississippi.
Hey, he's from Mississippi, no doubt. Jerry Rice, Mississippi Valley, baby.
Yeah, it's the Delta Devils, right?
Hey, the best DB to ever play football. Where does he now coach at?
Okay.
Coach Prime is in.
They all coming back, man. They all coming back.
Coach Prime and what he's doing at Jackson State for HBCUs is amazing, man. Just having a guy like that in our state to come back and coach football has been huge for the state of Mississippi. And it's awesome.
Yeah, like I've always had a fascination, and I've always loved HBCU football because when I was young, my dad and all his lodge mates, we always used to go to the Kickoff Classic in New Jersey when it was Grambling and Hampton, and then they're playing. Eddie Robinson was still alive. They had the bands going at it and stuff like that. Like the bands were so good that we was already worn out by the time the football game started. We was just like, damn, we didn't even get to the game yet. And we ready to go.
You pick you a Saturday in the fall. You can come stay and we'll get you a hotel room and all that.
Yeah.
We'll go to an HBCU game and
man,
SEC game. You can do it all in one weekend in Mississippi, baby.
Oh my God. You know what? I would. You know what? I would love to do that, man. Because like I've never. Like I said, I've been to Mississippi only for work,
Yeah,
only for being down there and stuff like that. But I've never been down there to actually see games and to get into the vibe of Mississippi football.
nothing, and that ain't counting the food.
Let,
That ain't
that's one. That's that's for another. That's
that's
for
a
a
whole
conversation.
conversation.
Woo! That's another conversation.
Uh,
But let's get into so I'm gonna get into your son actually.
all
So
right.
I got to see Kai play in person. And for everybody that doesn't know, Kai Holiday, he was the Mississippi 1A Player of the Year. Am I correct? In the
Yes, sir.
past 2 seasons, right?
Past 2 seasons. Yep.
So I've seen him play, and I was like, man, this kid is amazing. And then he comes to our showcase before our All-American game, and he runs a 4.39 at the showcase. I'm looking at this kid like, I'm seeing this kid comes up, kid has big hair like mine. He just has more because he's younger, and his hairline looks better because he's younger. Mine's still here. But I see this kid, and next thing you know, he's running, and they're timing him. And Lanny looks up at me, and Lanny's like, "You see this?" And I'm like, "Hold on, let me take a look." I see 4.39 on here, and I'm like, "Holy smokes!" And laser time, which you can't fool the laser, man. and then he goes out in the game, and he performs like how we expected him to perform, like an All-American. So I just want to, just know a little bit about his story, how he, him coming up to being a player. He wants to be in the things that he's interested in doing it, because I know he got a scholarship offer to Mississippi State, and he's actually a top baseball prospect as well. So can we talk about that a little bit?
Oh yeah, not a problem. Well, he actually started out as a receiver for me his ninth
Okay.
grade year, receiver and DB,
Mm-hmm.
and we all our quarterbacks graduated. So a lot of times, you just take your best athlete and you put him under center.
Okay.
And we didn't realize when we put him under center what God was blessing us with. Over his career, I think he threw for over 10,000 yards, and he
Mm-hmm.
ran for another, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, 6,000. So just in 2 years, he had 9,000 yards and 100 touchdowns. Now, we were blessed to have great wide receivers. Noah Foster, John Avery Harrod, great wide receivers to come in and Foster Yates and all those guys, because without them and his offensive line, Kai could have done none of that.
Yes.
So those guys helped him out a lot along the way, and he's that type of kid that he has a chip on his shoulder, because so many people have told him what he can't do because of his size. And that's one thing that drives him to be better. And he hears me. And now my kids are a little different. They've been blessed. My wife and I, we've taken in 13 kids into our home
Wow.
over the last few years, and two of those kids just happen to be playing in the NFL right now. Pernell McPhee and Darius Slate.
Oh, Pernell McPhee and Darius Slayton?
Yeah.
Shout out to the Giants.
Yeah.
And Pernell McPhee, I can't. Was he with the Ravens? No.
Ravens and Slaves with the Eagles.
Yeah.
So.
Oh man! Shout out to the Giants. Hey, Giants fans, you here? If it wasn't for Coach Holiday.
So when you get to see guys like that, and they're constantly pouring into you and telling you what you can do, as well as his relationship that he has with God, that helps push him to want to work harder. And then I tell him, like I said earlier, you can't be great living an average life.
Yeah.
So, and I'm okay with my kids failing. He's been to many a camp, whether it's baseball or football, and not be the best player there. So what that would do, that would motivate him to come back home and work.
Yeah.
And that's why all the training that you see us doing, that's how all of that started. He would go to a football camp or to a baseball camp, and these kids would be bigger and stronger and faster, and he would get overlooked. And I said, dude, the one way for you to not get overlooked is you have to use what God gave you. And he gave you speed to be able to run. So we started perfecting that speed. And that was one of the reasons we came to the Dreamcast All-American game. Was we had went to the Combine in San Antonio the year before. And he ran a 4.7 on laser. And I told him, I said, that's not going to get it. we have to improve that. So we were blessed to start working with a guy named Deshaun Fields in Amory, Mississippi, who Rufus introduced me to on the Vertimax machine. And this Vertimax machine, if you've never been on it, it's life changing. Life changing.
I wish I had one of those at my age.
It's life changing. So
really,
during the COVID, him and some of his teammates and my other son, they would go work 3 days a week on that. So then we roll into football season, and I noticed he looked a little bit faster, because he was kind of just walking off, leaving people now. And when football was over, well, we continued to work on it. And then when football was over, we purchased one here at the school. And we work on it almost every day, if not every other day.
I'm sorry not to interrupt, but real quick, is the Vertimax the treadmill that goes up? What is it?
It's a platform that's got resistance bands on it.
Okay.
You can work as many as 5 people on it at one time.
Okay.
And that it helped. Like even when you go out, it's resisting. Even when you're walking back, it's resistance.
Oh wow!
It stops resisting you.
So you don't get any breaks.
You get no breaks. You can work on that bad boy for 15 minutes, and it seems like you've done an hour workout.
Woof.
So we do that now 2 to 3 times a week. And when he came to the Dreamcast All-American game, I was interested to see what is he going to run. And mind you, the thing with that was it was a little chilly that day.
Yeah, it was. It was that morning.
And the wind was blowing in their face.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see him run. So he lines up, and when he runs that, I was like, oh my God, did that really just happen?
Believe me, a lot of us was like that. We were like, because I double take. I was like, wait a minute, this kid's flying. Then I look down. Then I I check my watch, even though my watch had nothing to do with it. I was like, he was like, yeah, this is what the laser says, and I'm like, holy smokes! So, hey, that's a ringing endorsement for the Vertimax.
Yeah, and so when that happened, it kind of changed everything. Because when I tweeted, like I said, I'm a social media guy, so when I tweeted that out and sent it to some coaches who had been recruiting him, don't get me wrong, he is signed to play at Northeast Community College. He's going to play football and baseball at Northeast Community College.
Yes.
But then Mississippi State called and they reached out, and they were like, we'd like to offer Kai a preferred walk-on spot right now.
Yeah.
And that kind of changed everything, And then, like you said, he got in the game. And Coach Horn and the guys, they used him how they thought they would like to use him, and it worked out. And now he's running track, and he's
And I saw the track. I saw that.
In the hunt, never ran track before, but it goes back to when you have a dream. His dream is to one day play professional baseball or football. His idol, he looks up to Kyler Murray, and different things like that. So when you have those goals and those dreams, you can't let anybody tell you no.
Yeah.
I tell him, I say, I don't care if it's me, your mama, or who. If you got something you want in life, you got to go to work and you got to work for it.
Exactly.
That's what he does, and we're blessed that, he's pushing his little brother to that same level.
See, there's another one. He's like, he's creeping, and like I actually read an article that said the younger brothers and sisters are actually the better athletes because they have to work harder. Like it's like they have to be accepted and to win and stuff like that. They actually kind of have to work a little bit harder.
That's
so
right.
It's like they end up being better. Like,
and I want to add this too. Along his playing, he's been blessed to have great coaches.
Yes.
He's had great coaches that pour into him. Whether it's his summer baseball coaches like Joe Caruso and Eric DeBose, who both played SEC baseball, or his coaches here at TCPS, Coach Bohr and Coach Robbins, Coach Wilkerson. All of these guys have poured into him that he can be great. And if he works and he keeps his relationship with God first, that he can do anything. So, and like I said, when you got brothers like Pernell and Darius and they're talking to you and they're pushing, come on, man. God does everything for a reason. And sometimes we sit there and we go, look at this little guy. But then, Kyler Murray comes around and he shows you it doesn't matter how big you are.
It really doesn't.
Work hard and you do what you're supposed to do, and what God's got for you is for you.
That's absolutely right. You can't, you got to make do with what you got and maximize your talent. Whatever talents you've had, whatever talents you've been blessed with, whatever talents you have to maximize those. And I tell everybody, I tell, all my kids or kids that I'm dealing with or the kids that I'm helping, everybody's path is different. Nobody's path is the same. You know what I'm saying? Some people get to go straight out. Some people got to work a little harder. Some people got to take alternate paths and stuff like that. But, if you're, everybody has, same end goal or different end goals depending on what you want to do. So, at the point right now is just I always tell people, never give up on your dreams. You know what I'm saying? Work as hard as you can to get there, and just have a maniacal work ethic when it comes to it. You can see everybody sees the product, the end result. You see Kai on there performing, or you see yourself winning, games and stuff like that. But nobody sees the Tuesday nights where you're sweating and what I'm saying, nobody's around watching and you're getting no type of praise, and it's just you and them. It's just you and them weights, or you and those bands, or you and that platform. And they, nobody sees that part of it. So but we see that end result, and everybody's like, man, well, how did you get here? And everybody, you don't say, but you say, you think in your head, it's those Tuesday nights, it's those Mondays, it's those Saturdays when I'm alone, when it's when it's that. So,
and that's why I tell my guys here at TCPS, the game isn't won on Friday. The game is won on Monday through Thursday.
Yeah.
When you're out here putting that work in, the game is won during the summer. The scholarships are earned when nobody's watching.
Yeah. When you least expect it. Expect it, that's why, I'm telling all the kids that are watching, or anybody that's watching, that it's all about that. It's all about that work. I always say you got to stay in the lab. Anything great is built in the lab. All our medicines, all our machinery, all our stuff, everything that you use every day has been built by people that you don't even know, that you don't even see.
Life comes easy.
No, it really doesn't. It really doesn't.
If it does, you better check it.
It. So I just want to get your opinion on our camps and stuff like that. Did the camp and the All-American game, did that help you? Do you think that was a help or a hindrance, or what do you think about it?
I thought it was awesome. I'll be honest with you. You're skeptical when you go to something and it's the first time.
Okay.
I was a little skeptical, thinking, okay, how's this going to be? Yeah, they got a great location, they got great coaches, but being the first event, how's it going to be? I can tell you, it was first class. Yes. Everything about it was first class, from the uniforms to the coaches to the announcers to the game. I watched it again and live on TV. Everything was first class. It was a first class event. It did exactly what we needed it to do for recruiting. You were able to go down there and put up a good time. Now people can see it. You have that on paper, and it's legit. I've already, speaking of my youngest son, he looked at me and he said, "Daddy, one day I want to come play in this game."
Hey, we got a junior game coming up next year.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, sounds good to me. Let's go.
Yeah, and we're at the Cowboy Stadium.
Yeah, I've already had some of my players sign up for the camp you guys are doing here in North Mississippi.
Nice.
Community college.
Nice.
I am a big believer in Dreamcast, what you guys, Dream Nation. Man, like I said, everything was great. The people were great. I met a lot of friends down there. A lot of good players in it. Kai had a kid on his team from West Virginia, I believe.
You're talking about Brandon Wiley. Shout out to Brandon. Yeah, he's great. Yeah, he's great, man. Bluefield State is they're getting a great player, man.
And not only that, that big linebacker, I can't remember what his name was. He was.
I know you're talking about.
But and here's what I love about those kids: still communicate.
Yeah,
he still communicates back and forth with those kids. So not only was it a great game, but he made relationships that'll last a lifetime.
it was a great to me. It was actually even a great bonding experience with like some of the parents,
Yep.
some of the coaches. I got to find out how football crazy women in the South actually are. like
I told you it's different in the South, baby.
they are more, shout out to the women in the South. They are more knowledgeable than some men that I know in football. I'm at the Waffle House. I have my uniform on. I'm getting ready to go. I'm gonna get something to eat before the game, some breakfast. Old lady comes up to me. She sees my thing. She's like, "What's this?" I was like, "Oh, this is the All American game played around the corner." She goes, "Oh, is that for high schools?" I'm like, "Yeah." She tells her husband, "Well, we gotta hurry up." It's like, "Is there tickets?" I was like, "You can buy them at the stadium." She tells her husband, "Let's hurry up and eat so we can go." And I'm sitting up here like, wow. I've never seen that. I've never seen that before.
Speaking on that, it was a great crowd at the game.
Yeah.
I mean, it was people everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never seen that before, and it blew me away. It blew me away. Saying the way how dedicated the moms are. Dads and everybody that always, but the moms are like more dedicated. They are out there.
It's a family affair in the South, buddy.
Yes, shout out to them. Shout out to them, man. I always say, as a former athlete, I would love to play football down south just for the how do I say this right, for the atmosphere, just the atmosphere of them playing and being down there. Like, oh man, like I would love it.
I tell my kids all the time, there's nothing like Friday night in Mississippi.
Really, I'm hearing that from Virginia on down. It's like it's like the Friday nights. Everything shuts down. Like when I was growing up in my town, my high school was a football mad high school. Union High School. We were always ranked USA Today top 20 or whatever. But the town used to shut down. Like I'm talking about, like you couldn't find nobody. Everybody was at Harry R. Cook Memorial Field, on Friday night. On Friday night.
Look, and then when you get through with the game, you either get in your car and listen to the radio to hear the other scores, or you're rushing home to watch the news to see who won and who lost.
I'm telling you, or you're looking at a newspaper the next day to see what everybody. Like I'm sitting there buying a newspaper, throwing everything out but the sports section.
That's right.
I want to see what's going on. I want to see what's going on. Let's see what everybody else is doing.
That's right.
Who won, who lost, who I can talk smack to, and who I got to worry about.
I agree.
Woo! I still did it up until I stopped coaching a couple of years ago. My Sunday mornings was always like, okay, let me see what this team is doing. Let me see what this team is doing. Let me go on to either gridironnewjersey.com or the Star Ledger or Sideline Chatter. Shout out to all of them. I'm looking. I'm thinking, what are my rivals doing?
That's what we do.
So, then into a couple of other things before we leave for the day. Who is TPCS's biggest rival? Do you guys have a rival, a game you get up for, guys that you're just like ready to play them? Do you have a bulletin board game?
We have another team called Smithville, Mississippi.
Okay.
And I would say that's our biggest rival, and the main reason is because Smithville's always been a very good traditional 1A program.
Okay.
And that's the thing. You want to be able to compete with that traditional program. And we finally did that this year. We've always kind of played them close or whatever, but they always wind out kind of blowing us out in the end. But the last couple of years, we've gotten close, and this year, we finally got over that hump.
Nice. So that's good. It's always good to have some bulletin board material. I'm not going to ask you about that because I don't want to start no stuff before the season, man. My compatriot Creek, he always tells me, he's like, don't give him anything before the season to talk about yet. So we're gonna leave that alone for now. We're gonna leave that alone. But do you have a motto for your team, like goals, like a motto, like a mantra that you like to give to your team? Like,
each year pretty much, and that's what I was talking to my AD about the other day. Each year, in my opinion, I have to coach each team different, because each team has a different personality. Last year, we lost a coach to COVID.
Okay,
And so
I'm sorry to hear that. My condolences to his family.
So one of the things we did, we made a T-shirt that had his name on it, Rob. The year before that, our team motto was family.
Okay.
And the year before that, I think it was for him. For him is one of the ones that, for him and family is one of the things that have stuck by us, because you play, number one, you play for God. And number two, you play for that guy standing beside you. And if you do that, nobody else matters. Nobody else matters, because then you're playing for your family. And that's who means the most to you. Those guys on that field with you, they're the only ones you got to look at and say, did I give it my all to? If you can look at your teammate every game and say, I played my best this game for you, then that's all that matters.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the name of the game. You know what I'm saying? You just leaving it all on the field. If you left it all out there, and that's all that's the most you could give. You know what I'm saying? That's all you can ask for.
That's all anybody can ask
for. Is 100%.
I tell people, the wins and losses are going to come. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some. But players don't care what you know till they know how much you care.
Yeah.
That's what we try to do here at TCPS. Look, I won't lie to you. I tell my guys all the time I love them, because I do.
Yeah.
I have 40. This year, I told you I started out with 9 kids. This year we had 49 kids.
Wow.
So I have 49 kids, not just Kai and Lath, but I have 49 kids on this team that I love, and I want to see all of them be successful.
Yes, but that's what we want. That's like what we want to get into, and what you want. You want to see exponential growth every single year.
Yep.
You want to see that growth every year. You want to see these kids succeed, and then at the end of the day, you want them to go on to have great lives and become productive members of society, become great fathers, become great friends, become great co-workers, and in some cases become great teammates and athletes. That's the basic end goal of pretty much any coach. And I guarantee you, any coach that you or I will talk to or interact really wants the welfare of the kids first above anything else. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, wins are gonna come, losses are gonna come, but at the end of the day, you want these kids to be successful in life and whatever path they choose to do or choose to take.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, pretty much, man. And from what I can see, what you're doing in terms of breaking barriers and doing all that stuff, you're doing just that. You're basically putting these kids in great positions to be successful. Well, and like I said, we appreciate that. I can't formally shake your hand and stuff like that, but if I could, as a handshake for me.
The one thing I challenge my guys with all the time is, what kind of legacy will you leave?
Yes.
If you die today, how will people remember you?
Yeah.
And here's the sad part about that. Some people won't even be remembered.
Yeah.
Because they didn't do anything.
Yeah.
I don't want to leave this earth knowing that I didn't make a difference, or that my players didn't make a difference. So that's why I try to push them to be difference makers, not just in the school, but in the community, at your church or at your home or wherever. Be a difference maker. If it's only one person that you change, if one person changes one person, then we can make this world better.
Yeah. I will not argue with you. It's that simple. It's that simple.
Because the change, it's like a rock. If you throw a rock into the water, waves are gonna just go all out.
Yeah.
That's the same way change is, whether it's good change or bad change. It's what kind of ripple are you gonna leave?
Yeah, Coach, you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. You know what I'm saying? You're speaking truth. And, same thing. I agree with it. When you coach, you impact like 49 lives a year.
Yep.
49 lives a year, you directly impact. And then, when they do stuff, they impact other people's lives. So you're right. one good one piece of good advice. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody needs something to eat. You give them food, allows them to focus on their day. You know what I'm saying? It keeps them from being hungry or something like that. You never know, man. You never know what you do for kids until later on. Then they come back and say, "Hey, coach, man, you know what? You gave me. I was hungry that day. You took me here, I ate here, and it allowed me to survive another day, or it allowed me to just to focus on my schoolwork because I wasn't hungry that night. And it allowed me to pass the test that I needed to pass to get my grades in order. You never know. Like I said, it's always 6 degrees of separation from everything, And like I tell people all the time, everybody's interconnected. You think you're not, and I just appreciate you for doing that and just putting so much effort and work into your kids. We definitely appreciate that. And for all the other coaches out there, your assistant coaches, all the other coaches that are out in Mississippi and all over the country that are doing a thing and they're down with their kids, man, we appreciate you guys, man. We appreciate that hard work, man. You out in shorts, you out in the heat, you're out in the rain, you're out with your floppy hats on. Some of y'all got sweatpants on, whatever you're doing, keep doing it, guys. Keep impacting the youth of America, man, because we need more productive members of society, and you guys are helping immensely. You guys don't know how much, you guys how much good work you're doing. So shout out to all of y'all, man, all 50 states, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, coach, is there anything you want to say, anybody you want to shout out, anything you want to say before we wrap it up for the day?
Man, I just want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to come on, and like I said, man, I would tell anybody, if Dream Nation is coming into your town, get involved because it's worth it. It
Absolutely.
gives kids an opportunity to be seen that might not normally get seen. Like you say, I mean, let's be honest. Kyle was at a small school, a 1A school, one of the smallest schools in the state, but he wound up with an offer from one of the biggest schools in the SEC.
Like I said, you never know. You never know
what God's got for you. And sometimes we as parents, we sit back and we think, well, I ain't got to do that. Yeah, you do. You do. You have to put in that extra work. You have to spend that extra dollar to invest in your child because our kids are our greatest investment. And if we don't put something in them, you ain't getting nothing back out of them.
That's right. So let me just put this up. Our next football prospect showcase is in Greenville, Mississippi, April 17th, 2021 at Washington School, 1605 East Reed Road, Greenville, Mississippi. That's 1605 East Reed Road, Washington School, Greenville, Mississippi. Register at football@recruitnationelite.com. That's football.recruitnationelite.com to sign up. You know what I'm saying? April 17th, we're going to be out there. Some of Coach Holiday's kids are going to be out there. We hope to see some of you guys out there and stuff like that. Coach Holiday, please stay on with us after we wrap and stuff like that. For everybody who's watching, thank you for watching. For everybody who's going to watch, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. And with that being said, like Coach Creek always says, outwork everyone. And like I say, bring your name, build your game. We'll see you later. Peace, everybody. Thanks for watching. All right, Coach, stay on with us.